I'm in here. What up, folks? Anybody who's in the room, I wanted to come on and talk YouTube. It's like strategy, stuff like that, for people who are currently YouTubers and people who are aspiring YouTubers. In case you want to be out here creating content, that's what I wanted to get into. Um, I have some notes around here, but first I want to give props to a few people who I've watched over the years, like Think Media, video influencers, video creators, Roberto Blake, Sonny Leonard Doozy, quite a name. Um, Even this dude named Brian G. Johnson, and a couple other folks, maybe. But I've been a student of YouTube for like a long time, a really long time, because we have a family blog channel. And before I started that blog channel, I wanted to make sure I knew as much as possible because I'm heavy on the research. Hey, MJ. Hey, Kimber Jack. Um, what's up, Delgado? This video is not about solar. It's about YouTube. I know some people. Oh, I gave y'all 24 hours notice. How about that? 3 cheers, right? Round of applause, all that jazz. The missus wants thinks like
I come in at the right time.
like I feel like that's anyway.
Thanks
No
to
thanks.
me.
You don't get no thank
Thanks
you.
to me.
Hey, Miss Jenny. Hey, 2%. Oh man, 2% seeing your name is it's cool. First and foremost, thank you for being here.
What
But
does 2% mean?
what does 2% mean? 2%. Hey, Audrey. My wife is asking, what does 2% mean? I guess I need to zoom in a little bit so I can read these comments a little better. What's up, Lee? Lepresti, what's happening? Um,
I love
all
how
right.
everyone speaks to everyone, like the community within the community.
Do you?
I
Nice.
do.
What's up, Robert?
Hey, Maria. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody. I have some notes around here I'm going to pull up. I say, what's up, Regenerative Life Wayne 69? Boom. Okay, she's just gonna stand here. Hey, Deborah. All right, so let's start off here. If you, oh, okay, it's a name a former coworker gave me because I was only speaking 2% Chinese. Hey, I dig it.
Ah,
Interesting.
that's cool.
Inside joke. Hey, inside joke for everybody. Now we all get it. Um, all right, so I want to know. I imagine that some of you guys. What up, Jason Noy? Just watched your video about the big blue. Nice. We just
Hey.
watched your video. I hope you saw my comment.
Yeah.
I told my wife you were the IT guy, and
Now,
she was like,
man, I like him even more.
"There you go. There you go." She was a fan of your setup,
Mm-hmm.
nice and bright and all that jazz. So
Yeah, it's all white.
She was a
Like
fan.
it's real
She was
cool.
a fan.
It almost looks
What's
like
up, Beats?
so clean it seems
Been a
fake.
while, man. Been a while. What'd you say?
Um,
It was clean and something about
yeah,
fake.
it was like so clean. It was like, is that a filter? You know how like people have like background that they could put in their videos?
Oh yeah.
It was nice. It was really nice.
Jason Noy's video was good. I mentioned in my video that I was looking forward to Jason Noy's video. His
Mhm.
video came out today. I was like, let me not watch it because I don't want him to point out anything that I missed in my video. And then I'd be like, should I record a quick clip? I was just like, we're going to let that live. So I had to wait until mine was done. Ah, man, 2% milk. That's weird. All right, let's get right into it. So, um, I know 2% has made videos. Do any of you guys have channels? Let's talk about that from that perspective. Do any of you have a channel? Thank you, sir. Jason Noy says you covered all the stuff. Great video. Appreciate it. Same to you, man. Same to you. I'll see. Are you thinking about starting a channel, MJ? And if you are thinking about starting a channel, what like content would you make? it's not good, but yes. Hey, they say some of your first videos are your worst videos. And that's a fact. I have the benefit of having my family channel, having to kind of like hone my skills over there, getting to the point, so on and so forth. You're not brave enough, Delgado. Why not? I dig it. You know what I mean? But, feel free to share with me. My family channel is called The Richards Revealed, spelled exactly how it sounds. We haven't posted over there in a while, but I feel like we got some bangers over there. But it's hard to get people interested in vlog content because if people don't know you, then they're not vested. So it was hard for me to take all of the stuff that I had learned from watching all of these videos about YouTube and strategy and tips and techniques and so on and so forth. It was hard for me to apply that to my vlog channel and find success. We have like about 300 some odd subscribers, maybe. And we're not like, I'm going to use the word corny. We're not corny and making videos all over the top. The catchphrase or whatever the banner said, it's like healthy black love or something like that. Something like that. Yes, I do started a new channel a few months ago. My content is about growing food, solar power, and living a more eco life and prepping. That's a lot. I'm working on the type of content. I dig it. I dig it. All right. Well, let's start with the idea of niche. Delgado says my passion is preparedness, but there are so many others doing that.
Sorry, just closing her ears.
Healthy black love. Hey, shenanigans all day. What's up, Keldria?
Sorry.
It's okay. It's super casual. So when we talk about niche, and I say it the way the French say it because that's the right way to say it. Whatever. Some people like to say niche, but I'm not one of those people. A lot of people get hung up on niche, and rightfully so. Another way to look at it, if you find it hard to kind of like narrow down your focus to a particular topic of subject matter, is thinking about who your ideal viewer would be. What is that person interested in? What do they like to do? So on and so forth. For example, my channel, I made my channel for me. like there was no, and I talked about this in one of my introduction videos or whatever, in one of my early videos of why I got into solar and why I got into YouTube. I couldn't find the content that I was looking for. So when I got into solar, I was trying to learn, of course, and everybody's like solar experience was either like a video or six in a sea of like 100 videos. They were living off grid, or they were living in a van, or they were in an RV, and they just kind of talked about solar here and there. And then you had Will Process channel, which was really into DIY. And then you had Hobo Check, who was really into like off the grid and how tech empowers you and so on and so forth. But I just wanted somebody to be able to talk about, hey, Happy Life, thank you so much for that Cash App you sent me. I wanted to know what it was for, because I feel like somebody said something about contributing towards something, but that was very generous of you, no matter what it's for. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. No, I don't. My wife is trying to claim it's for the kids. Don't say it's for the kids, please. Please don't say it's for the kids. That's okay. So you have to start. You don't have to. Let me back up. You don't have to start out with a focus, but it's good to have a focus because then YouTube knows who to serve your content to. Some people have channels and they're all over the place and they're not growing. It's because basically YouTube takes signals from viewers. So if you find a channel and you're watching it and you're always watching that content, then YouTube knows, okay, this person likes this content. What is this content about? Okay, it's about solar. What are other channels that are about solar? Okay, show them that and see if they click on that. So YouTube wants to serve up content for viewers. So when you pick a niche, you kind of want to, let's deal with a lot of people in here are from like Lead Farmers community, Lead Farmer 73. A lot of people in here are about like preparedness and growing your own food and so on and so forth. So let's say you wanted to start a channel, but there's a lot of people out there with gardening channels. First of all, that's not a reason not to start. If you want to start a channel about the same stuff that somebody else is doing, That's fine because ultimately it's your spin on it. But you could also look at it from the standpoint of like, how do I fill in a gap? Like I can just take some of the questions that I see people ask Led Farmer that would be good video ideas, which is like, what are some of the best things to grow if you're just starting? If you were into growing food, you could make a video just about that and people will watch it. Now, you got to have a good thumbnail, title, but even in some cases, you could make a video that's so on the money in terms of what people are interested in that it can get views despite your title, despite your thumbnail. A lot of people like think about, okay, so what I was trying to say is I made a channel for me. I was a beginner. I was trying to be into solar in a simple way. I didn't want it to be all complicated. I didn't want to DIY. So what I started doing is I was really into power stations, the simplicity of it. So I made a channel about like the sole focus is really on like power stations, solar panels and not wiring stuff and all of that jazz. So I knew that would resonate with people because of the uncertainty in the country. People have this streak of like self-reliance and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to make something that would appeal to those people because I knew what I couldn't find when I was out there. I had to go into these different niches to find videos about solar. And a lot of times in the RV community, it's always about building the solar. If they're off grid, it's about building the solar. And it's like, I don't care about that. I wanted to know what kind of tips and tricks people employed to get the best out of the solar system. Like, what did they do? Did they run certain things during the day or save their power at night? Did they so anyway, hopefully I'm making a point. What's up, Day One Fishing? No pass through. No. Oh, Happy Life says for the kids. How dare you? How dare you? MJ says, I agree. My son started a channel a few months ago and his first video got 6,000 views really fast. There you go. What was his video about? What was his video about? That's pretty cool. Oh, yeah.
I want to know what his content is.
I know, right? Okay. So some examples of niche. Oh, I didn't tell my wife how much time I was going to be on the live. It has a potential to be short. Thanks, Jason. Man, I'll be looking at your subs too, and I'm really proud of you, man. Like I see your subs growing, and that's cool. I kind of slick side think like I wonder if Jason's gonna find more success than me because he's white. I'm just keeping it a buck. I'll be thinking that, but I'm still happy for you, whether you find it because of that reason or not. But anyway,
yeah, I was saying whenever I asked you how many subs Jason only had, when you said like 12,000, I was like, really?
Yeah, she was shocked.
But then you like, it's a new channel, and I was like,
Happy Wife said, I got my sisters back. Hey, Dominique Unique. DIY refill vape machine. See that. So that speaks to a need. That speaks to a problem. It addresses a problem.
yeah.
Sean Cannell on the Think Media / video influencers. He's more on Think Media these days. He talks about when you first start out, answer specific questions. So that you look at that example, like how do I refill my vape machine on my own without going out to somebody else to do it? It's like you could see somebody typing that into the search box and then finding your son's video and watching it. Now, some questions you have to ask yourself is who's my ideal viewer? One thing that helped me, because it's tough to figure out your ideal viewer. A lot of times we are tempted to say, so let's look at my vlog channel, for example. My ideal viewer, it's hard to say, but the content will most appeal to married Black people who,
Married Black women.
well, that's the reality of it.
Oh.
That's the reality of who will watch it.
Okay.
But it's Black people who are because you can find someone who can find like Mose for example, who can find it refreshing to see a husband who is honest and not, what do they say? Pick something. Something they say when your wife controls you, basically. Henpicked, maybe that's it. Henpicked. It's like an old school saying. My wife wouldn't know. She don't know nothing old school. um, so my ideal viewer was a person who was married. They were black. They were probably around our age. Um, they 9 times out of 10, or it would resonate more with Christians because we're believers. Um, oh, I see somebody say what up to break bro farmer. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Day one says my 4-year-old is well spoken and loves to play house and wants to film it. Even now, she says please like and subscribe. My kids do that too. It's them watching them YouTube videos, and then their parents film videos as well. But yeah, thank you. With expectancy, that's what's up. Hey, Batista. Um, so I struggled with my vlog channel because you had to make content that appeal to those people. And again, if those people don't know you, then they're not vested. I had a post some time ago about Black RVers and van lifers because sometimes it's hard to find that content because we're not as large of a percentage of the country, and we're not as large of a percentage of the YouTube creator community. So I was trying to diversify my viewing habits, and some people love certain RVers because they made that connection with them. What's up, Ban Everything? So it's tough to find that ideal viewer, but that's what vlogging is tough. If you wanted to go like this new channel, I think it's called Practical Preparedness or something like that. I shared one of his videos at some point on my community tab, but he's speaking directly to the preparedness community and people who are he's basically answering simple questions. I think he shared a video about like how to heat yourself during the winter. It's like that's simple. Boom. Everybody wants to know that. You look at that Texas situation, the outages in California. It's like you have to know how to be able to heat yourself. I mean, granted, Cali ain't cold, but you get the point. So one thing that helped me kind of fine tune things is I started to think about, or just in general, is what could you sell to them? Now, I'm not saying you're supposed to be thinking about selling products. Or what could you suggest that they would be interested in buying? And that kind of can give you a hint as it relates to what that person is into. Like in the farming community, you could think seeds or trees or I don't know. I don't farm, but there's certain things that come to mind that help you. So this person is growing food. Okay, what questions might they have about growing food? Are they a beginner? Are they intermediate? Or are they an expert? Have they even started yet? So you can see how that can help you to fine tune the type of videos that you're going to make, because you can speak directly to the psyche of the person that you're making the videos for. And if you think about, here's another thing, you have to think about if you're into self-expression and showing what's going on with you, or if you're into trying to help people do the things that they want to do. And that could even be the old version of you. Like when you started doing whatever it is you're interested in, what kind of videos would you make to help you? Or what kind of videos would you make to help, your colleague or friend who kind of doesn't know what it is that you know? Like I'm an IT guy. I'm also a cell phone guy, just in terms of being interested in that. I do want to start a tech channel called Random Tech Vids. And the interesting thing about that is I'm not expecting that channel to grow because it may be all over the place. Another thing about YouTube is you have to kind of stay on brand if you want to grow, because YouTube wants to serve that content to those viewers constantly. So I can't make a video about a solar panel one day and then make a video about a cell phone review the other day and then make a video about these batteries I got. You know what I mean? It's like who the people who are into solar and power stations didn't sign up for that, so they'll probably skip the video. That sends a bad signal to YouTube, and YouTube may stop suggesting your content to that person. So you kind of have to stay on task. Yeah, I talked about, are you making videos for you or for them? And then another thing to help you focus is, what do you want to be known for? Like, what do you want to be known for? You don't want to, if somebody says, okay, I want to find out about couponing, And then there's a person who comes to mind that channel is all about couponing. And you're like, yeah, she's known for that. He's known for that. Ivan is into solar. Jason is into solar and all things surrounding that, fridges and, you know, kind of like that outdoor experience, I suppose. I'll see if anybody has any questions. What's going on, Joe Tyson? I'm a protester of censorship. That's interesting. What you talking about? Ban everything? Oh man. Thank you with expectancy. I appreciate that. I agree. It will be all over. That's a really good question. Off topic, but did your wife give the air fryer a second chance? She did not. Bomb. Did you give the air fryer a second chance? Is a question that's being asked.
Nope, I did not. I'm nervous.
She got time, so.
I'm nervous, man. I just don't want to mess up I don't want to mess up food. I don't want to go through all the work of preparing and then putting in our air fryer and then it come out messed up.
Moving on. Thanks, Day One Fishing. I appreciate you, bro. I'm glad to see you here. So once we kind of figure out our content, you have to, I say you have to, you do whatever you want. That's not what I mean. If you're being strategic about it, then you kind of want to think about, okay, what's my banner going to look like? And you could have a simple banner, but your banner needs to be able to speak to this ideal viewer, this person who's interested in whatever it is you're going to talk about. And let me be clear, it's okay to have a YouTube channel about whatever you want to have it about. That's fine. That's not a problem. But if you want to grow that channel, at some point, you'll have to get serious and get focused on making content for a particular viewer. And you could even see even some bigger channels like Will Prowse or whoever, when they deviate off of their path, you can see their views go down. It just is what it is. The people who signed on to that channel wanted to see DIY solar. So when Will talks about his Tesla, he may not get as many views as he gets on his other stuff. Or when Will talks about, a tour of his home or, whatever he talks about. When Laird Farmer talks about solar, he may not get as many views as he gets with the farming, or vice versa. If he was banging on the solar for a while, people may lose interest in the farming for a little bit and want to talk about the solar power stations. You know what I mean? It's like you just have to be really intentional and strategic about that if you want to continue to grow. Patricia Ransom says, it's easier than you think. I had problems at first. What do you mean? Thanks for these. I appreciate that. If I have 2 or 3 really different interests, should I do different playlists on one channel or 2 to 3 different channels? That's a great question, and it gets asked a lot. The common answer that I hear is, do those interests align? Like, can you find a viewer that would be into all of those things? And you have to think about, is it worth their time to watch those 3 different types of videos? You know what I mean? Like give me 2 of those interests and I'll see if it kind of makes sense. Like, for example, I'm into solar, right? Oh, Jason is a good example. He's into solar. He has done videos on solar. He has done videos on power stations. He's also done videos on refrigerators, because that kind of goes hand in hand. I would dare say, as his channel begins to grow and he does a lot of videos on solar and power stations, his refrigerator videos may not do as well as those other videos, because not everybody's into having those fridges. But the people who are into solar, it covers a vast variety of types of people. You have people who are in vans, RVs, at home, so on and so forth. Oh, she's following you. Where are you going, Mama? And that's fine to not have your interest be super narrow, but you have to try to think about, okay, are these videos cohesive and coherent? Just because you're into those 3 things may not mean all of your viewers are into that. And also it goes back to the question of self-expression versus helping people. If you want to just kind of express your interest and share videos and maybe people watch them, maybe they don't, then go for it. You know what I mean? So you have to be intentional about that. I wouldn't have, for example, my solar channel, it was originally called Ask Our Tech. I think Yeah, it was. And the goal that made sense for me is to have tech powered by the sun. But after a while, I just felt like that wouldn't really work because that's too vast. There are people who are into solar who still have flip phones. There are people who are into solar who are not into that stuff. So it didn't mesh well. So I just got rid of the whole tech part. If I want to do something about tech, I'll do that somewhere else. You very rarely see me talk about technology on here. The crocheting gardener. This is so funny. Oh, okay. I got you, Patricia. All right, cool. I'll pass that on. Patricia says it's easier than you think. She had problems at first with the air fryer.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Fadista says book and film reviews, homesteading, and current events. Yeah, that's all over the place. That's three whole different things. And I wouldn't do three whole channels. I would do the thing you're most passionate about, um, and the thing that would be most helpful to people. So if you wanted to do film, book and film reviews, that's almost in and of itself two separate things.
Yeah, I was thinking like to go another level down, like for who? Like is there going to be like a little quirkiness to?
That's a good point.
Book and film reviews for who?
Yeah.
I think about like, is it going to be humor? Is it going to be, quick and dirty? Like, what is it going to be that's going to make you different from everybody else?
And what problem does that solve? Like, are you doing a film review because you're thinking about potential moviegoers? Are you doing it for potential movie renters? You know what I mean? It's like, should you rent this movie? Should you buy it? You know what I mean? It's like, it has to have a solution. Somebody said something recently, like in the last 2 years or so. They asked what problem, no, Sunny Lenarduzzi, she said this, what pain point do you address? And I have experience with that because I'm an IT person. I had an IT side hustle business. And I did a couple of jobs here and there, but people don't call me until something is absolutely broken and they absolutely need help. Because to have something not work on your computer or whatever, your laptop, it's not really a pain point. It's not causing you pain. Okay, your trackpad right click doesn't work, but you could double tap with your fingers to get it to do what it needs to do. Like I've had people literally come to my house just to visit, like on some come see my wife type stuff, or one example. And when she came here, when she was here, she knew that I was a technical person. So she asked me about an issue with her computer. I solved it in like 5-10 minutes. But she would have never reached out to me about that problem because it wasn't a pain point. So when you think about creating content, you have to think about like, what's the pain point? In my situation, a good example is people don't know which power station to buy. The power stations on Amazon that are available to sell, I'm hoping that I can give people a bit of an overview. I like that word. I got it from Jason. A bit of an overview about this device so it could better inform their purchasing decision. So they look at the Jackery versus the Rock Pals versus the EcoFlow versus the whatever. Okay, I've has 4 videos about those stuff. Let me watch that. Okay, I like this. I don't like that. I like this. I don't like that. I like this. Okay, I'm going with that one. I didn't know which one to buy, and this is the one I'm going to buy. It's solving that problem for them. What you looking for?
Tripod. Oh.
Boom. Look around, look around. And then like the example of homesteading. Jason always says sometimes your channel heads in a direction you don't want to go, like only reviews. Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's what happened. I don't know if it like forced him down that path, but I think that's what happened with Hobotech. Hobotech's channel was really about like, you even see it in his banner, it's like using off-grid tech to solve like mobile problems or something like that. And people weren't really watching a whole lot of his vlogs and his RV related stuff because at the end of the day, that doesn't necessarily solve a problem. You have people who are really interested in that, and then they also have to make the time to watch it. So if you have somebody who has a choice between watching you be out in the desert in your RV because they like you and it's entertaining or whatever, or they need to buy a power station, and Hobotech just made a video about that power station. If they had to pick, they're going to pick the thing that serves them because As some people say, people are inherently self-interested or selfish, but I don't want to be mean. You really, Fadisa says, you really have to think through everything and figure out why you should have a channel. That's right. Frederick, I emailed a very short vid on the EcoFlow backup. Nice, thank you. It's Frederick, right? Or Frederick. Frederick said he told me about his EcoFlow and he's using a LiFePro battery to back it up. I've thought about that multiple times and how it would work, but it'd be nice to see it in practice. So that's what he's talking about. Yeah, Jason Nord, I missed the start of Ives Live watching some of your videos. Hey, that's what's up. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that? So you have to figure out your ideal viewer, what are that person's interests, and so on and so forth. And you could still find yourself not getting views if you went down that path, because that could be somebody who's doing it better or doing it quicker, faster, prettier. You know what I mean? All right, I don't see any questions. Let me make sure I have. Come on now. All right. What's going on, Sunday Backyard Farmer? I saw Art the Graph around here somewhere. What's going on? All right, the notification worked. I bet 24 hours in advance. I have to look into how long I actually need to make a video so it gives a set reminder. I don't think it shouldn't take 24 hours. I had seen some from Leia kind of in the morning, and then I could set a reminder for like 6 o'clock or something like that when he went live. All right, so even if you don't figure all that, sneeze. What's up, T. Washington? Man, I haven't seen your name around in a while, I don't think. No. I'm thinking about somebody else. That's Wayne. Oh, no. Maybe it is. No questions, just soaking in the information. Nice. I appreciate that. Oh, that was epic. Yeah, we don't say God bless you around here. That's weird. If you still say God bless you, then you should research why people say God bless you and see if it's still applicable to your life.
God bless you.
I also feel like you should say may God bless you, but okay. You should say may God bless you.
I don't like using it period because I actually know God. So it's like I'm literally going to want to ask God to. It's like a prayer. You know what I mean? You're not real about it. Don't say
that. Okay. So then another note that I have is about videos and content. One thing that I see a lot is people, you have this natural inclination, myself included, especially with my vlog channel, is to describe what the video is about. That's kind of okay, but it's not compelling. You know what I mean? It's like, my solar panel died. It's like, okay, cool. I don't need to watch that video. You told me what happened. Versus like how to troubleshoot a broken solar panel or how to troubleshoot some type of process. You have to try and describe content in a way that appeals to somebody, in a way that piques their interest and makes them curious, versus just describing what the video is about. If you get away from it's like you have to try and get to prescribing the value. Why should this person watch this video? It's like in the gardening community, it's like your tree won't grow, try this. Your plants won't grow, try this. Or versus like saying, I did this to make my plants grow. And it's like that could work too, but it's like one is a little more appealing to the human psyche. And it's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, my trees won't grow. Again, getting back to even inadvertently this idea of solving a problem. Also, think about the content that you love. Like the first time you watch a video by somebody, not necessarily videos you consume because you love those people, because that's not necessarily an accurate representation of something that pulled you in and got your attention and you felt satisfied after watching. So think about when you watch a new channel. What was that title like? What was that thumbnail like? What kind of appealed to you about it? Were you curious? Did it appeal to your sensibilities? Did you find something in the thumbnail enticing or entertaining? Like, start thinking about that when you look at and consume videos, especially videos of people you don't necessarily rock with, because I feel like we all gonna watch the people we rock with, unless they just like. I feel like Jason Noy did a video about an MPPT that hooks directly up to a battery. I support his channel because I like his channel and I'm just an overall supportive person. So I'll play it in the background, even if it's not interested to me. But that didn't appeal to me because why? I like to keep solar simple. I don't want to hook that up to a freaking battery and all that. I don't even have a battery. So if you think about it in terms of ideal viewer, you think about like, okay, my ideal viewer, are they somebody who's into power stations or are they somebody who's into building their own stuff? DIY Solar with Will Prowse it's explicit about who his channel is for. He's for people who want to do it themselves. And he describes how to do it themselves. Now, you also have this opportunity to kind of veer away. But when you veer away, you kind of could do that at risk of alienating your original followers. And I'm not saying you have to be beholden to people who follow your stuff. You can change directions. You can make whatever it is you want. But if you're being strategic, you have to be mindful of that. That's why you kind of want to get into something that you could tolerate doing. You know what I mean? You don't want to just start making movie reviews because that's the thing you're into right now. But, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, you don't want to do that anymore. And you want to start talking about homesteading. And there's people are like, well, I didn't sign up for that. And you could certainly try and figure out how to do it. But that's a tough pivot. You know what I mean? My titles suck. I would be changing them. Did I miss a question? Is there a minimum number of subs you would want to have to keep making videos? That's an interesting question. I did read about that previously, so I suppose saying God bless you would go against the first commandment. I don't know about that.
No, I don't think it would be that. I don't think it has anything to do with worshiping.
Is there a minimum number of subs you would want to have to keep making videos? No. No, if you go into it trying to make videos for a particular thing, then I don't know. I can only speak about it as I would say as an introvert and as a person who is highly content with just what it is that I'm doing. It depends on your why. But if I don't know, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Hey Siobhan, hey Paycheck.
I feel like when you do things organically,
Mm-hmm.
your channel should just continually grow, whether it be 5 a month, new subs, or 100 a month new subs. At the end of the day, like you're not making videos per se for subscribers,
Right.
For growth and whatnot. You're making videos because it's what you like to do, it's what the topic and so on and so forth. All that other stuff is going to come if you do it, with passion and you do it
well.
Your tips.
If you do it well.
Right. If you do it well, I was getting there. I was getting there.
What's up, Silver Surfer? I always start. Okay, so just real quickly, subs, they're not as important as they used to be. In a lot of ways, it's just a vanity number. It's like as my channel began to grow, it feels good. But that's why I never really I shouldn't say that. I very rarely encourage people to sub for the sake of subbing, because I want people who like the content and view the content, and then YouTube will serve up content to the people whether they sub or not. The subscription kind of thing is not as important anymore. So this idea of doing it with a certain sub count in mind, it doesn't resonate with me. I'm not a big fan of that. All right, Rasa, man. Jeez. I'm just scrolling up a little bit. Fadisa says, oh, she's talking to 2%. I'll let that ride. You're welcome, Day One Fishing. I'm scrolling up. All right, all right. Jason Noy says, I definitely try to make videos for both audiences because I have people on both sides. That's right. Absolutely. It doesn't necessarily fit to one. There's some people who DIY, and then there's some people who are into power stations. There's some people who are into both, for sure. I'm viewing for knowledge late as well. Did watch some other videos. All right, I think, did I read this? Silver Surfer says, I always start by the topic itself to try and learn. If they have some type of personality, that keeps me coming back, even if the topic has changed to something I may not initially be interested in. Personality matters a lot. It matters a lot. It's the difference between you watching something, getting that information and being like, okay, thanks, I appreciate it. And be like, I want to stick around for this person. I want to stick around for their content. YouTube will also show you their content again, especially if you spend a good bit of time watching it. If you do, then they'll show you their next video and their next video maybe. And if you don't click on either of those, YouTube may be like, oh, well, maybe, I'm not into this. Maybe Silver Surfer's not into what this guy's talking about, so stop showing it to him. You're welcome. Hey, Darlene. Good to see you. Silver Surfer, I have some of those comments. Oh, okay, cool. All right. And then there's this idea. Okay, so I talked about this on the other live. There's this thing that really sticks out to me, the saying from Sean Cannell. He says, be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done. Your videos, okay, so let me contrast it this way. Antoinette Yvonne is the person, what up, AZ? She's the person whose van life videos that I like. I'm into those. They're not necessarily my favorite, but I like checking in. She's a Black woman. Her thing is like luxury RVing, and I feel like she has a nice van. That's kind of like it's not really luxurious or whatever. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think the reason why she says she's into luxury van life is because her van is really nice, and she's into that. Okay, so her videos are like 19, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 18. That's a lot of time. I also find I'm not trying to be sexist or anything like that. I also find, my wife looked at me crazy. I also find that women who are creators typically have longer videos, and men who are creators typically have shorter videos. That's a generalization, but I don't have all that time to spend listening to y'all talk and yammer, and I'm not into that. Y'all are exhaustive. Not exhausting, exhaustive. And I'm not into that. My wife is a good example. We're in like Facebook groups, a group or two, and I'll be like, I'll let my wife expound on that because I'm not about to. I'm really concise and to the point, and so I can't get into a lot of that content because it's like, oh, geez. You say lead breaks that mold because he's chatty. Is that what you're saying, Delgado?
No, I think he's still concise.
Yeah, I agree.
He's chatty I think he's chatty as it relates to what's typical for a guy, maybe, but not really, because
I feel like he's also talking about something that he's into. Right. You know what I mean? It's like something to be like more exhaustive than it needs to be doesn't necessarily mean that it's let me say it another way. If something goes long, it doesn't necessarily mean it's exhaustive. You know what I mean? It's like these lives are very concise and to the point. I'd like to think that they are, but some of them have been 2 hours. But, I feel like Leia can certainly like go off on a subject matter, but I don't know if I would consider him to be chatty. But I don't know. Hey, I'll take it. All in the soil. What's happening, man? I explored 3 or 4 channels before I found you. I learned something from every one of those channels. It was a learning process. Yeah, that's right. Um, so this idea of I was talking about time and length of videos. If you're trying to start out and build something, you want your videos to be really as short as possible. I'm gonna give a lot of nods to Sean Cannell of Think Media and Video Influence because I've learned a lot from him. And this is a little abstract. It's hard to kind of like take this all in, but he says, and I took this to heart. He says, make your video as long as it needs to be, but as short as possible. Make it as long as it needs to be, but as short as possible. And you could look at my content and see that like man, I'm like boom, 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 done. I try to be exhaustive in a way, but still concise and to the point. I'm not sitting up here like, yeah, okay, now I'm gonna plug the wire into the thing. And it's like, no, boom, it's plugged in, it's charging. You see it, we good to go. Let's move on. Because I don't want my time wasted and I don't want to waste y'all's time. So if you want people to appreciate, it's like people value their time. Now, if you have found yourself already favorable of someone, then yeah, you could sit down and you could kick it. I like Led. I like to hang out in his lives. I watch his stuff at 2x because that's just the kind of person that I am. I listen to books at 2x. I watch videos at 2x. I kind of be trying to get it as fast as I can get it. What you doing? Oh, trying to keep it from her. I feel like if you kind of want to change this up a bit, you can roll that tray up. It adjusts and you could kind of sit your laptop up on that. The whole time thing is so valuable. Thank you. You're welcome. What's up, Wayne? There you go.
Hey,
no.
Oh, okay. Hi, Wayne.
Oh man. But he is insightful. I'm reading Delgado's comments. Deborah says you never get bored watching Led. Yeah, that's kind of rare.
His personality too. Like I enjoyed listening to him. I love when he like goes into his little rants and his vents. I like when he's funny, when he's being silly, when he's serious, when he's fussing. I like that.
Ban Everything says YouTube recommends some ridiculous stuff that I have to block over and over. That's YouTube fishing. That's a part of their algorithm. They're like right now, because I have watched some stuff, YouTube is starting to put like Fox News stuff in my feed. And I'm like, I ain't watching that. Charge Fox News. Fox News is ridiculous. Quick political deviation. Thank you, baby. The interesting thing about Fox News, people like to take Fox News and then compare them to other companies on the left. And I feel like you can't out Fox News. And MSNBC tried that for a while. And it's like, y'all are not good at being as whack as Fox News can be in terms of what comes into my ecosphere. I like Chris Wallace. I like Shepard or whatever. I liked Glenn Beck before he went to Fox News. When he went to Fox News, he became a clown. But so Fox News, whatever. But they're fishing. YouTube is fishing. Okay, does Ivan like this kind of content? And then they'll put it up. And then if I don't click it, then they'll stop recommending that stuff to me. Anyway. What is this the wrong Wayne? I've never had a greeting like that.
Oh,
my wife and I have a friend named Wayne. And it's like a personal, like real life friend. And she's always happy to kind of hear from him. So she thought that was him. So my apologies, sir. I didn't mean to,
Yeah, my bad. I still said, hey, Wayne, like, normal.
Superholic says what? That's it. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up and let you work that out, Superholic, and see what else you're talking about. All right. Also, you could think of, oh, what's up? Congrats on the 5K subs. I wasn't sure where that was going. You start talking about politics, people can get weird. Um, so as it relates to content, we were talking about being brief, being bright, being fun, and being done. Think about your YouTube experience. If you're looking for something, you're trying to find something, and you have 4, 5 options, what option are you going to pick first? You're looking at the thumbnail, the title, and the time limit. You know what I mean? Like, that's very important if you're trying to break into someone's home feed. What do they call it? I don't know what they call it. So you have to be mindful of that. And then when you start to get into content, you kind of want to think about, okay, how can I make 2 or 3 videos about a thing, like 5 videos about a series of things so that you can say, okay, boom, step 1, how do you do this? Step 2, this is what you do. And then instead of putting that into one video, you make like 5 little shorter videos and you walk people through that experience. Like, guys, you watch this video, stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to talk about this. And then you have a series of content that people have watched. And then that also goes into strategy because YouTube can attribute that time all to you, especially if somebody started their viewing session with your video. So it all counts towards you and it helps to build up your kind of like reputation. Okay, this person clicked on this video, watched 80% of it, watched 70% of it, watched the whole video. Okay, this person rocks with them. Wayne, my friend Wayne, he always jokes when he gets home and I've done a video, he turns on his TV, my video is there. It's there because YouTube knows that he likes my content, whether he's subscribed or not. You know what I mean? Ban Everything says, I'm sick of supposed prepping channels talking about nothing but politics, very little prepping. I keep up with world events on my own, and these channels are huge. Yeah, that the politics, and a lot of times is what fuels the prepping. So that's a big part of their life because they are concerned. They are in that ecosphere of the sky is falling and so on and so forth. So that fuels a lot of what they talk about. I like voice narrations that are calm. I hate those, hey, how you doing, everyone, in your face types, like a used car lot. I dig that. I select random videos to mix up the recommendations from YouTube. That's interesting. I hope YouTube is smarter than that. But this guy, Rob Braxman, he does that too. And I thought about that when I saw like the Fox News videos, but I really don't want to see that stuff, man. It was probably like a Tucker Carlson video. That dude's off the chain. Okay. Now, also, as it relates to content, I like to think of it in terms of this like cake and icing. And also, guys, keep in mind, all of this stuff is like work. And it's tough to balance all of it. So as I continue to talk about this stuff, you have to try and find a balance. Maybe like pick like 1 or 2 things that if you're a content creator or an aspiring content maker, kind of drill down on those things. Like, who is my ideal viewer? And like really give some time to that. There are tons of videos about that stuff from reputable channels that I follow, where it could kind of help you. But hopefully this content that I'm sharing with you can help expand and kind of speak to, so you can take that information in and it kind of makes sense instead of just being this abstract stuff. Because you have my solar channel as an example, you have other people's channels as examples, and so on and so forth. So this whole idea of cake versus icing. So I look at it like this: your video is the cake, and your thumbnail, title, and that stuff is like your icing. And a lot of times when you first start out, your cake is gonna be whack and your icing is gonna be whack. You know what I mean? It's like it's hard to make good videos fresh out of the gate. Like they say, your first videos will be your worst videos, and that is an absolute fact. Your first videos are not going to be bangers. They may feel like bangers to you, but whenever you get to the point where you're like 50 videos in, 30 videos in, and you go back to that first video, you're like, that's certainly not my best work. I'm not saying it's trash, but it probably will be trash. Okay, T Wayne. Okay, this was a short stay. Gotta go. See you next live. Be blessed. Merry Christmas to you and your family. The Wayne from Colorado Springs. I gotcha. What's up, Byron? um, I wonder if the Fox News talk ran T Wayne off. And that's okay. That's okay. Oh, okay. Um, so your presentation matters. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they'll make the content, but then the thumbnail and the title is not really good. And if you can't get somebody to click on your video, then why make the video? A lot of people talk about, and I mean, like people I follow in the YouTube sphere, they talk about this, the YouTube instruction sphere. They talk about this idea of um, your thumbnail is in some ways more important than your content itself, because no matter how good your content is, and 9 times out of 10, if your thumbnail sucks, then your content is probably not that great either. But if you can't get a person to click on your video, if you haven't presented it in such a way that's compelling, then they won't watch it anyway. So you may have a situation where you're getting like, 12 views, 14 views, because your content is not resonating with anyone. And YouTube gives you a chance. You can look at it in your analytics to see how many impressions your video got. And they say that a good, it varies, but they say that a good click-through rate is about like 5 to 10%. And of course, that number is weird, because if you have a very small pool that follows you, that has watched your content, and they show your content to 100 people and you get like 50 of them to click or 20 of them to click, then you'll have a 20% click-through rate. But that's not really reflective of success, because your pool of influence is so small. So, take that with a grain of salt. But the importance is presenting something to someone that they will be interested in. That's the icing. And then it's like the be brief, bright, fun, and done is like the cake, the content. And you want to make sure that both of those are good. Some people have whack icing, fire cake. Some people have fire icing and whack cake. I hate when I run across a channel where they have a really good thumbnail and their content is like, what is this? What is this? And you can tell, because when people click your videos, they'll leave your videos. And if you start getting into your analytics, you see what's called the hockey puck, where your thing kind of goes like that instead of kind of going like this, because most people have clicked on it. Most people have continued to watch it. They keep watching, and then maybe they drop off towards the end, or you see a little dip because they skipped forward because you were being uninteresting or they weren't interested in the content. But if people are coming to your video, you got them in and they're leaving, you're going to see that drop off. It's going to be a cliff. And people will make a thumbnail with a goat head on a cat and make everybody mad. Oh man. Do you ever plan to get a battery and a charge controller and make your own setup? I'm gonna hold off on that one. We talking about YouTube tonight. Humar JB. Silver Surfer says, when I first found your channel, I was disappointed there weren't longer videos. I like to play in the background while working, so I've watched the lives a lot of times. I dig that 100%. That's a very good point, and it reminds me of something 2% said. Not something she said, something I deduced from what she said. She was talking about some people and how she didn't find them, some Black RVers, and how she didn't find them boring. And I was talking to my wife, and I was saying, I wonder if like 2% will put them on while she's doing something. Maybe she's cooking, or she's folding clothes, or she's cleaning and listening in the background. That's a different level of engagement. When I sit down to watch a video, yeah, sure, I listen to stuff in the background. But if I'm sitting down to watch a channel for entertainment, then I'm pretty much sitting down to watch that. You know what I mean? And if yeah, it's the same thing with vlogs, especially family vlogs, but in some cases, normal vlogs. I don't sit down and watch and to fold clothes. I'm not putting it on to be kind of mildly pulled in. I want to watch something that's entertaining, that's to the point, that has a good story. Beginning, middle, end. What did you want? Did you get it? How do you feel? What did you want? What got in your way? What aided you to get what you want? What did you use to help yourself? And then how do you feel afterward as a transformation? That stuff is important too, as it relates to, I guess, entertainment content, not necessarily educational content. But in some ways, you can weave story into educational content as well. 2% says I watch and I do stuff too. I figure because that's why a lot of um, that's why a lot of female content creators find success. And I'm not knocking them. Please don't take it that way. They find success with other female viewers because you guys don't mind it not being to the point. You mind a little like elaboration and you're doing other stuff. You're multitasking. So a 20-minute video from Adventure Time Louie, the young lady in Alaska with her mother. A 26-minute video, a 27-minute video. That's money. You know what I mean? Because you could sit down and really kick it. I'm not into that. I do better with computer than solar sometimes. What do you mean, Byron? MJ says, "Hi, I'm cooking now. Laptop on the counter." Turned around the comment. Nice. It's hard to think of something that people want to see. What do you mean? Let's talk about that, Byron. I'm scrolling up now. Back to Silver Surfer's comment, like this idea of like wanting my videos to be longer. That can also be strategic because they talk about like Casey Neistat, who is a super popular vlogger. I mean, he like came into vlogging and like changed the whole thing. He brought like this cinematic storytelling aspect to it, and like literally people copied Casey Neistat. I started vlogging before I came across Casey Neistat's channel, I think, or I was already in my mind, but like watching his content like inspires me to want to get back to vlogging again with my family channel because his stuff is so good. It's that good.
It really is. He is definitely dope.
My wife is saying it really is. He is definitely dope. I forgot where I was going with that. Just this. It depends on your goal for your viewing experience. It's tough to grow because, like, even though Antoinette Vaughn, she introduces herself in her videos, but I feel like she still is making content for her tribe. She's not necessarily making content for new viewers. And that's typically a sign of that is typically when you don't introduce yourself to people. But she introduces herself to people, which is smart because people can kind of get a quick intro. She introduces herself and then plays an intro video sometimes. I find that to be weird, but whatever. I teach how to repair all-in-one computers. Oh, okay, cool. So Byron, I don't know if you were here. You teach how to repair all-in-one computers. So the problem there is people typically have a broken computer, or they have something going wrong with their computers, or they want to learn how to repair computers themselves. So you're speaking directly to a need. If you're making content that doesn't speak to a need, you may find success. You probably won't, because why does somebody have to watch your video? When I get ready to go to sleep, I find a long science, a Bigfoot video over an hour long and let it play. If you watch a video halfway, is it still counting as a view? Yeah. It doesn't take long to start counting as a view for YouTube. I don't think it's as short as Facebook, like 3 seconds or something like that. But you start watching a video, I mean, for the most part, if you watch it, it counts as a view. I watch the whole time sometimes, and sometimes I play a video while doing other things. We're having Christmas tonight, so I have to get ready. I'll watch this from the beginning later. I already caught COVID again 2 weeks ago, so I think I'm safe. Yikes. Don't think that. Don't think that. But, yeah, I mean, you do what you got to do. Do what you want to do. So the whole idea of like cake versus icing is presentation matters, but the content has to be good too. And then you get into this idea of your channel itself. Like, what are you going to name your channel? I've run into some problems where people don't necessarily know how to pronounce Ask Ive. And that's okay, because Ask Ive is a part of my kind of brand. So I don't want to do away with that for the sake of easy pronunciation. Is she sleepy? Did she sleep at all? Okay. The younger boys are still asleep, I suppose. Okay. So what are you going to name your channel? What's the banner going to say? What's going to be the theme? And what I mean by that is I mean colors and stuff like that. This stuff is kind of like superficial. You can certainly win without putting these things into place, but it's better to have that stuff into place. Like Ban Everything's channel is called Ban Everything. I feel like he should absolutely be like, let's say he did something that he's really passionate about, which is calling out the crappy products on Amazon. You know what I mean? It's like if that's what his channel was about, it lines up perfectly with Ban Everything. But he's also into this idea of preparedness and finding quality devices and finding quality deals and stuff like that. So he could also rename his channel like Prepping on a Budget or Prepping Smartly or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like you could kind of like have a cohesive thing so that people have no question about who this content is for, what this content is about, and am I into it? If people can't necessarily figure that out when they look at your video, your thumbnail, your title, and when they go to your channel and they kind of see your banner and your icon and your first like few videos, your playlist, if they don't know what it's about, then you run the risk of not getting them to subscribe because they have to move on with their life in most part. You know what I mean, it's not a rule, you know, it's all suggestions. Anybody have any questions about any of that stuff? Washes dishes when I watch Ask God. His fans seem normal. I ain't had to put my boots on since I became a mod. Yeah, I this subs only stuff is cool. And I also my channel is not huge, so I don't necessarily have whatever, but Byron says that makes sense now. Thank you. I actually just visited your channel recently, Byron, and I think you could kind of get into those thumbnails a bit more because they don't necessarily tell the story. They're very like, okay, what this video is about instead of what's the value to the viewer. I talked about that earlier. After this, I'll try my best to put timestamps in it. I know you didn't ask for that critique, but you know, because I want to see people win. I want to watch good content. I want people to make good content. I want people to find success on YouTube if that's what they endeavor to do. So it's like, man, it's just, it's in me to try and help, you know what I mean? And I do it everywhere I go. I've been in like Facebook groups and I'll comment on people's YouTube videos and I do it nicely. I'll say whatever I need to say initially, and then I may say, you know, just some unsolicited advice. You have too many words in your thumbnail. You know what I mean? You should have like a good like three or four words in your thumbnail and stuff like that. But if you got too much, I can't read your thumbnail. There was this guy, his channel, he had some video and he just had stuff all over the place. Another thing is when you're doing a thumbnail, you don't want to put the same words in your thumbnail that are in your title. That's like a waste of real estate. You know what I mean? You can think about it strategically like, yo, your thumbnail is not indexed by YouTube. It's not necessarily search related content. So it could say something really punchy versus like how to plant seeds. And then your thumbnail says how to plant seeds. Your title can be how to plant seeds. And then you could say in almost freezing weather. I know that's kind of weird, but you kind of get the point of how they can work together. Your title, the image, and the thumbnail should all work to be a cohesive unit that works together to present a nice presentation to people that look at that video and be like, oh, I'm interested in that. They kind of all work together. Just saw you, my man. What's up? What's going on, Sleeper? Constructive criticism. Yeah, for sure. I'm getting so much value from this live. Wayne? Okay. Which Wayne you talking to? But you're welcome. I'm glad you're getting value. Okay. I talked about that a little bit. So I'm getting into mentality and mindset. I say, understand that you only have so much capacity. So don't be too hard on yourself. There's a lot of things you got to learn to do to get good at YouTube. It's a ton, man. You have to be good on camera. There's like technology involved. Use your cell phone by all means. You know what I mean? You don't need nothing fancy. Cell phones are great. There's, you know, your banner. your thumbnails, your colors, your name, making the content, recording the content, editing the content. There's a lot to get good at in terms of finding success on YouTube. I mean, it's a bunch, so don't be too hard on yourself. It takes work. Roberto Blake talks about this idea of just pushing to make your first 100 videos. And he doesn't necessarily mean just cranking out content for the sake of content, but he means like just get comfortable with the idea that you need to make about 100 videos to start learning and honing your skills and kind of finding your way and figuring out what works and what doesn't work and kind of finding a groove, especially if you have no experience with YouTube at all. Oh, sorry about the name. That's all good. You're welcome, Delgado. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. So you can only work on a few things at a time, and that's okay. You know what I mean? One thing that's not necessarily a pet peeve of mine, but when I see people do it, I feel like I don't know if I would go about it that way. One thing that Tim Schmoyer, who's the guy behind Video Creators, he talks about like this idea that your video should have like one goal. So, and this is it's not a pet peeve of mine, but whatever. Let's just go with it. But this idea of like asking for like subscribe, like, share, and comment. It's just like, why? You know what I mean? Like you ask me to subscribe. Why should I subscribe? People say subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Why? Why? Tell me why. You know what I mean? If you haven't presented a good enough case in your video, only to start your video or in your video or in the middle of your video, be like, subscribe, share, comment below, send it to a friend. First of all, that's too much. Nobody's going to do all that. People find your content. They like your content. You can kind of hint at subscribing, but for the most part, it's fine. YouTube is going to serve your content up to them. Every now and then, if you want to mention it, even at the end of the video, if you want to mention it. If you're so good at creating content that you want to mention it at the beginning of your video, go for it. But if you're just starting out, I feel like just kind of like leave that alone. Don't worry about the subs. Focus on making good content that people enjoy, that they'll want to come back. Because at the end of the day, the views are the thing that matters more than the subs. You could have, for example, let me make it plain. You could have 100,000 subs, and YouTube typically only shows your content to about 10-15% of those people. Don't quote me on that. I don't work for YouTube, but I've heard many people say that, and they've talked about it from the perspective of talking to YouTube about this whole idea of the sub feed. And that's where the algorithms and stuff come into play, because they used to prioritize your subscriptions. Like, okay, this person that subscribed to this person, they want to watch that content. But now with so much content being made, YouTube, in order to continue to make money, to continue to be a successful business, they had to figure out a way to get content in front of people that they want to watch, because ultimately they want to keep you on the platform as long as possible, because that's how they get their guap, them coins. So it's really about like this idea of working with this system that they have created. Sure, you may want to do a channel about solar and tech, and then cell phones and TVs and, light bulbs. And that's just all over the place. It's all over the place. I have a couple like low performing videos. One where I talk about how many watts my TV uses. One where I talk about running the internet. Like specifically, I made a video about running the internet off of solar. The thumbnail kind of wasn't that great. It was just kind of getting started. So they didn't do well. So I kind of shied away from that content. You know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to build my YouTube channel, and I'm not necessarily allowing it to dictate to me, because this is why I got into YouTube, to talk about solar. But I kind of wanted to have this convergence of these things, but that stuff doesn't perform well. So I'm not going to make that content. You know what I mean? It's not appealing in a moment. Uh-oh. Gotta cry. I'm sick of like hearing like, comment, share, and subscribe. YouTube has been around for a while now. We know. Most people know. Most people know. It's okay to ask, but it's like people only do it. The funny thing is people only do it because at some point it was a good idea to ask. At some point, stuff was dependent upon that. And people just kind of get set in this groove, and they just keep doing what people told them to do for no good reason. I heard somebody say, They said, we'll be doing videos about this in the future. So subscribe and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss that video. And I'd be like, miss it? It ain't going nowhere. What I need the notification bell on? I could watch that video 6 months from now. Relax. I don't need to hit the notification bell to see your videos. Like, you need to calm down. Now, I'm not against this idea of saying, okay, yo, I'm giving away most of my power stations for people who watch the lives. So you may want to hit the notification bell if you want to know when the lives is popping. That's a reason for hitting the notification bell, other than this weird idea of like, hit it for me or hit it because you'll miss out. It's like, how can I miss out on a video? I can't miss out on a video. It ain't going nowhere. Now, if you start deleting videos or unlisting them, then that's a different thing. And then something that's important, just in terms of mindset, when they ask, I give them a thumbs down. Always. Oh, that's hilariously. Hey, you know. Oh man. Hey, you know, you do what you gotta do out here in these streets. You do what you gotta do out here in these streets. If you're starting out, try not to compare yourself to other creators. You know, you may be just starting out. That person, even though their channel's new, for example, like my channel, we got a whole other vlogging channel that I did for like 3 years. You know what I mean? I also edited videos for my church at some point when I was attending that church. So I had like editing experience, and I'm brutal. I am brutal with my edits. Y'all know, like I'm cutting out stuff. I'm just get it out of here. I'm waiting. There's a saying in the editing world. Like, I follow this channel called Story Greenlight. Jeff Barch, really good channel about story and stuff like that. He's kind of got some other things going on right now, but he was like, you know, in the editing world, they say they have this saying, and it's rough, but it's like, you have to kill your baby, or the plural version of that. And what that means is that no matter how nice a scene is, no matter how dope you think it is, no matter how much time went into it, if it's not serving the purpose of this video, cut it. Cut it. I could show y'all what a video looks like when I record it versus when I edit it, and I'm like, I'm brutal with it, because man, your time is precious. And if it's like this idea, it's like as long as necessary, but as short as possible. I don't want to meander and waste your time. Now, if I got to talk to you for a while, then I have to talk to you for a while. It needed to be 17 minutes, but I'm not going to let a video need to be 17 minutes when it could have been 8. I watch some people's content and I'm just like, man, this 12-minute video could have been 4 minutes. Like, what are we doing here at this point? I'm not into that at all. The funny thing about thumbs down day one fishing is my understanding, and I haven't heard anyone update this knowledge. A thumb up or a thumb down is seen as engagement by YouTube. So whether you love a video or hate a video, it's a good sign to YouTube that people are engaged enough in that video to give a signifier that they feel a certain way. So it's all the same. So I see thumbs down on my videos, and it's like, I don't care. You have to be mindful of that, because some people take this like people are hating on them approach. And sometimes your content was trash and it needed to be thumbs down. Like, yo, this is garbage. And then people, like when I'm in groups, people will be like, oh, they were just hating. They don't want to see you grow. And I'll go watch that video and I'm just like, no, this video is whack. It's like, it's bad. You got a thumbs down for that reason. Like, you need to level up, fam. Level up. 8-minute mark for mid-roll ads. Lame. Some people make longer videos because they can put that mid-roll ad in there and they can get that ad money. The crazy thing is, ad money is not a lot. So you literally making a video longer than it needs to be to get a few more pennies for a video that gets a few thousand views or whatever. It's just like, it's really interesting. I've heard people talk about that. Like they'll milk the time because they want that longer runtime. And YouTube does reward minutes watched. I mean, it is a thing. But if you filling content up just for the time and people are not watching it, they'll abandon your video because they get a sense that you're wasting their time or you just literally wasting their time, then they just keep it moving. And then you get penalized another way. So it's like, just make good content as long as it needs to be as short as possible. If you're trying to grow, what I realize, there's this channel. There's this channel called Daily Davidsons. It's like a young, I guess youngish. They're like our age, black couple. They make vlogs and stuff like that. And every now and then I go check back in on their content. And I'm not trying to dog their content at all. But it's clear to me that they're happy with where their content is. They're happy with their audience, and they're continuing to serve that audience. Because whenever I go to check in, I feel like they're not talking to me because I'm like a new viewer in some sense. They're just like casual. They settled in to their groove, and it's not very welcoming. Like I don't have 25 minutes for your video. You know what I mean? For you to be like, just kind of like, yeah, my son, y'all know he was, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't care. Off, skip. Can you give advice on the thumbnail? Just in general, how do you handle criticism? I'd like to say I handle criticism pretty good.
As long as it's not from me. It's from me, and it's a different story. But everybody else.
Well, let's think about it in terms of the creative sense.
Well.
Let's think about it in the creative sense, because in the marital sense, that's a different thing. That's a whole different thing.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like creatively, I feel like you don't have a big ego, so you're always looking to improve and to be better and to do better. And even when people come sideways, it's like you seem to be willing to pull from what they're saying for your benefit. You can kind of get past all the extra stuff where like you come at me sideways, I'm gonna come at you extra sideways.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
And I do that in a lot of ways, man. I can watch stuff that's like foul and still take away the core of what they're saying. It's funny because her brother says, take the meat, leave the bone. And it's like, that's what I do. You know what I mean? So it's like, I deal in the realm of reasonability. If you're being unreasonable, that stuff might as well not exist to me. I'll hear what's reasonable in your voice. You know what I mean? Like that's what I do. Okay. So Art DeGraff, do you have a critique? Do you have a criticism? Byron says I should show more on repairing solar generators. Why though? How many people do you think are into repairing the solar generators? Now, you think about it from the standpoint of like, think about that AC200 Max and that polarity issue that they had where the polarity was reversed. It didn't affect a lot of people, but people were in the mood about it. Jehu did a video on how to do it. Problem, okay, solution, views, helpful, whatever. Advice on thumbnails, I would say, hey, look at mine. In terms of thumbnails, you want your thumbnail, okay, this is a goal. There are no rules, only suggestions. Strong suggestions, but suggestions. You kind of want to have the thing that your video is about be front and center, or in some ways you need to learn about the rule of thirds. If you look at my thumbnails, you can see my head is kind of usually to the side because there are 3 lines in a frame. It could get really complex. It has to do with some type of sequence of what's appealing to the eye, but rule of thirds is a good way to just kind of deal with it. You kind of want to have your subject of interest on a third, one of those things. So my head is kind of usually over here. The thing that I'm talking about is typically over here. Some things you don't want to do is you don't want to have text in your bottom left corner. You don't want to really have anything that's really important in your, well, visually, it's the bottom right corner because the timestamp is typically down there. So I would see people who have text down the right side of their thumbnail and then the timestamp for the video covers up the text. That's a fail. Sometimes you can't avoid that, but that goes into being thoughtful about your thumbnail to begin with. A lot of people talk about shooting, like actually thinking about and taking a picture for your thumbnail. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I record a video clip of just me trying to get a thumbnail. So I'll sit there and I'll be holding it, or, I'll pose and, so on and so forth. But I like being able to pull it from a video, but you have to be intentional about the thumbnail. A good rule is to think about your thumbnail first and then go record your video, or then start thinking about how you're going to record your video. A good thing is to have some separation between you and your background so that your background is not distracting from the thing that is supposed to catch people's eye. A lot of people talk about this idea of they want to be able to see your face as big as possible, to be able to look into your eyes, because we connect as humans with seeing someone's eye. I like having myself in the thumbnail because that's a human connection. Some people only like having a product in the thumbnail. But because I'm more interpersonal, my idea is like, I'm here to help y'all. I'm like a real person y'all could reach out to, comment, talk, and email and all that jazz. So it's like, oh, that's Ive. I'm a person, and that's part of my persona. 2% says, don't show yourself holding plants and then go in and taking a bubble bath. Do not go in and you're taking a bubble bath. That is a very good point. And that gets to this idea of like, get to the point. What I was watching a video. I'm trying to think of what the video was about. I'm trying to think of, hey, Trina, I haven't seen you around in a bit. I was watching a video. It could have been Antoinette's video, but because I'm so like brutal in my edit, I'll be like, man, this video could have started at like the 4-minute mark, because that's really what it's about. But that goes to show you that she's making content for her viewers. She's making content for people who are interested in her life, in the various facets of her life. As a first-time viewer, that's another thing, man. It's like you make an appealing thumbnail, an appealing title. Van City Van Life is a good example of that. He titles his videos in such a way that is interesting, but the video is really not about that until a certain point. And it's like, fam, what are we doing here? You're welcome, with expectancy. Oh, man. I watched Van City Van Life. I kind of like took a break from his channel, but now I'm watching it a little bit again, and when something kind of piques my interest. But again, I feel like they're making content for their viewers. They're making content for their tribe. You can note, it's like a lot of people aren't necessarily making content to pull in new viewers. Now, I'm a deviate for a second. This idea that kind of had an unlock for me as it relates to creating content. Tim Schmoyer of Video Creators said, you can create 4 types of videos, and forgive me if I don't know all 4, because I haven't visited this theory in a while. But he's basically saying like, you want to do like your discoverable videos. You want to do like videos for your community. I think he called it like hero content or like big content. An example of big content is, let's say, the new Tesla came out and you wanted to do like a really nice video about the new Tesla. That's like because everybody's watching that new Ford F-150 Lightning. That's something that's like a big thing, something that you really take time. You do these about like a few times a year. So it's like discoverability. You're making a video that you want people to discover you. You make a video about something that someone will be looking for, and they find your video and watch and get introduced to you. Community content. I feel like a lot of people stick there. They get a following, they find their groove, and then all they make is community content. My vlog channel is really just all community content, because we didn't make a whole lot of content to kind of like be discoverable, because it was just about our lives, you know what I mean? And Black love and healthy family dynamic and so on and so forth. So it's like, I can identify these issues in my content, but I didn't necessarily know how to fix it on my vlog, because the purpose of that channel was something different, and we didn't find success because of it. Also, vlogging is tough because A lot of people who are successful at vlogging, they have like another thing that they use to feed people into their vlog, because then people care. So if I got my solar channel to 10,000 subs, there's some people who like me enough, I think Crafts Bayou was like, oh, what's your vlog channel name? Because she knows me, she's connected. Now she's interested. But other than that, it's like, and we do really good videos. That's how I feel. I feel like they're to the point, they're about a subject, and, they're cool. But it's like people don't care. And I don't knock them. I can't be mad at that. Autograph says no criticisms. Oh, can I just air out a pet peeve of mine? This doesn't necessarily apply to y'all, but banner ads, those little ads that pop up in the bottom of the screen, I feel like nobody should be using those. They annoy me so much because they're almost always pointless, and they're almost always blocking the screen from something I want to see. So I'm not into banner ads. I think I saw one banner ad that was useful in all of my years of watching YouTube. They're always stupid ads, and I feel like people should not put them on their videos. Which, thank y'all for attending my TED Talk. I'm done with that. A channel about a psychic cat predicting that Yellowstone volcano is going to blow would be huge. Oh, okay. Hey, C. Holmes. What's happening? Or C. Holmes? Chrome eats, sleeps his videos. He is always recording. Crow had this point where he was doing this like introspective voiceover stuff where his voice was like really interesting and almost like bedroomy, and I hated those videos so much. Not really, but it was just like, oh, I just didn't like that he was like performing. But I rock with them, man. Watch Foresty Forest. He's cool as hell and no BS. I've seen Foresty Forest videos. They don't necessarily move me. He's another one where, and no knock on him, but like his title will be interesting, but then his video is for his community. So it's like they'll make a discoverable title and thumbnail, but then they'll just do a community video. And it's just like, well, no, that don't match. If you're gonna make a discoverable video, like, okay, how to park in Walmart without being unseen, and then when you start the video, you're like waking up and like cooking breakfast and like, yeah, today, guys, I had a problem with my heater, and it's like, what are you talking? I don't care about your day, like, and it's not that I don't care, but I didn't come here for that. That's a better way to say it. I didn't come to your video for that. Like, show me what I came to your video for. If I wanted to see tips and tricks about solar implementation in your van, and you start the day out with like how your shower broke, it's just like, what are we doing here? That's just me. All right, Day One Fishing, good to see you, bro. I don't record a video unless I am inspired. I dig that, Trina. I agree at banner ads. Yeah, they're useless. Nigel says, true that, totally understandable. And it's just like, man, I can't find, like, y'all should literally go watch a video of Casey Neistat if y'all not familiar with him. His freaking videos are like masterful. Like,
he has different types of videos.
Yeah, watch a vlog. And you could kind of see the breakdown of like, okay, who is the character? What do they want? Do they get it? What hurdles do they overcome? How do they feel at the end, or what's the transformation? If you go watch his videos, you can kind of see that. I almost, no lie, did like a vlog advice channel because I just feel like I had so much to offer in the way of advice for people who make vlogs, because people make really bad vlogs. Really bad. But yeah. Ivan and Trina are great at being humble. Some YouTubers get sensitive if you don't watch their videos. They get upset. Not keeping in mind that people have lives. I know, right? That's funny. I shouldn't say people. Some people will say, sorry, I missed the fill in the blank. And I'm like, you don't have to apologize to me. I get the sentiment. Because there's no other way. Like, yeah, I shouldn't say there's no other way, but people would just be like, yeah, I didn't see the last live, man. I got to catch up on that. But people apologize for it. I'm like, why are you apologizing? Yeah, you don't owe me to watch my videos. Like, I guess. With expectancy says, yes, I feel tricked when YouTubers do things like that. And it's really rampant in the van life stuff and vlogging too. Anything that's because van life is really vlogging. You know what I mean? It kind of is. It's you video logging about your life, but don't be really compelling and then just hit me with the mundane. I'm not a fan of that. Let's see. Okay, so then in terms of like putting a video together, you have to edit the video. Again, if you want to grow, if you want to stay where you are, then you do whatever you want to do. But if you want to keep growing and pulling in people and appeal and, give solutions, give entertainment, help people out, brighten their day, so on and so forth, you gotta get in that editing studio and start cutting stuff. I use Power Director. Um, I've used it for a while. I bought it when it was like on sale many years ago, and it was as close to the software that I first started editing for when I was doing it for my church, which was Sony Vegas. I think Sony Vegas is still around, but it's just simple. There's even a Power Director for your phone. I think it's like $5 or $6. Spend the $5 or $6 to get the software to edit your videos. You know, I'm not saying you got to get Power Director, but don't like. I mean, I know how hard it is to come to terms with buying a piece of software when you can use it for free. But when you see someone who's edited something and they have that little watermark down in the bottom, I'm not saying I look at them negatively, but it's just like it's something that registers to me. Like spend the $10. It's like $7, $8, $5. It's like now I'm not into this membership stuff, but you gotta edit your videos. You have to be able to cut it down. And then you also have to get into your analytics. Analytics is a bit of a tough thing to kind of get your mind around. YouTube has made it a little bit easier, a lot easier over the years. They've introduced a lot of things. You want to be interested in your click-through rate, your average view duration. If people are dropping out of your videos early on, then you're doing something wrong. Point blank, period. Excuse me. Excuse me, baby. Thank you so much for the editing suggestion. That was a thorn in my side. I'm not technically inclined. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. And that's understandable. But I mean, you ultimately want to be something that you want to be someone who values other people's time. And if you want to get out there and start creating content, you could you could tend to think and believe that your content will be so good that it doesn't need to be edited. People are just so enthralled with you that they want to watch you point the camera at the ground and walk for a few steps. And I'm not talking about the vlogger walking shot, but I mean like adjust the camera and be fiddling with stuff and all of that jazz. It's just like, no, get it out of here. Get it out of here. Get to the point. And there's room for relaxing and stuff like that. But I guess at the end of the day, you want to remove as many hurdles to people enjoying your content as possible. And you can't do this stuff all at once, but just keep working on it. Try to make your videos better. Okay, this one wasn't as tight as it could have been. There's gaps in it. It's not a smooth, it's kind of jarring. What I mean? The edit wasn't tight. Try and make that edit tight. I apologize a couple times for missing videos. I felt like I skipped class. Oh man, Nigel Naughton. I blocked the channel recently that was promoting the For Patriots company selling $200 Gold Labs 5 cents for $500. Total sellout. Yeah, that stuff is crazy. That stuff is crazy. Thank you so much for that. Okay, yeah, I read that. I saw a couple of videos that responded to trolls and critics in general. I guess it takes a thick skin. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. I'm I'm uniquely compared because, and I don't like to say that I don't care what people think, but if I had a superhero ability to turn on, then I can turn on the fact that I don't care what people think. Of course, stuff can get to you and so on and so forth, but I'm extremely secure in myself and creating whatever. You know what I mean? It's like,
I can't deal with it. I just can't deal with it. Like to me, it's like, why are you this way? Why are y'all this way? Like, why are there multiple yous? You know what I mean? Like
you mean like people?
trolls,
Oh, Chris.
people who troll, people who are just like unreasonable, people who are just mean for, just to be mean, people who are, you know what I mean, just nasty just for the sake of being nasty. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the temperament to gloss over that. I get bothered, really bothered.
Yeah, my wife and I want to do a podcast, and I worry about that for her because it's going to be about marriage. I worry about that. I'll ask her like, "Babe, are you ready for what could happen?" And she would be like, "I'm just not going to read the comments.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
how I feel like I'm
I'll
not
have
gonna
somebody
read.
else kind of deal with the comments and kind of bring them to me, the reasonable ones."
Yeah.
What up, Joe Trot? And eyes are called word whiskers. Word whiskers in the public speaking. That's interesting. Huh, I don't quite understand that. Explain that to me a bit.
Like,
Yeah, Trina says, I don't like editing because it's time consuming but necessary. And you know what?
yeah. That's why I haven't started editing yet. Well, I have a learning curve, but it's time consuming.
Yeah.
I don't got the time.
You get well, I got better with time in terms of like knowing what to record and when to stop and stuff like that. Like that video that came out today, I shot that today and edited it today. Editing takes an incredibly long time, especially if you don't necessarily know what it is you're making. Editing a vlog or an RV type of video or just kind of being in your garden and stuff like that, it takes a long time. But you got to get to the point where, okay, here's what I say. When I first started vlogging and I was kind of trying to help people. So think about your favorite show, right? Let's just kind of go at it from this angle. Like I like to use like Alaska's Last Frontier or something like that, where it's kind of like real lifey. If you notice, they cut or change angles like about every second, 7 seconds. It's very rare unless someone is like actually on camera talking to you. But if people are doing stuff, it's very rare that a scene goes past 7 seconds. Like count it. No lie. You'll get to 7 and that dip will flip. You watch a music video, it's almost every 3 seconds they change it. Think about you watch a video and you watch that whole video. It's like it's changed. It's all over the place. You have to be mindful of that. Somebody also talked about. Let's just talk about like videography a bit. Somebody talked about like the idea of the difference between what shots do, like a tight shot or a medium shot or a wide shot, and how a wide shot kind of establishes where you are. A medium shot is like just kind of like focusing on, and then a narrow shot is like just a view or the thing you're filming. Then there's different angles you could film from, like you film lower, you always try to film at eye level or subject level of what you're recording because that's more aesthetic. And please, guys, record widescreen. Don't be recording vertical unless you're doing a short. I haven't made that mistake, but I do have videos that were recorded vertical because I intended to record them for shorts, and then the video just kind of got out of hand because I kept having to talk about stuff. But turn your phone sideways, let it be widescreen. That's how our eyes work, no matter what anybody tells you. Vertical content on YouTube is, yeah. Trina says your wife is beautiful. She
Aw,
is.
you.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got it. But if you go into creating a video where you know what that thumbnail is and you kind of have an idea of what that title is going to be, then you kind of know what you need to record. And then if you know what you need to record, then editing isn't as hard. You know what I mean? It's not as hard. But if you like, I just set out to record a video and it's like, okay, it's me. I'm in the garden and pulling and so on and so forth. And after it, you're getting a thumbnail of you grabbing a turnip out of the ground, and then it's just like you got to go and edit, and it's draining. It's like exhausting. It's work to sit there and like because you got to watch the whole video. So the other thing I wanted to say was with my family channel, what I tried to do, I tried to make sure that I didn't record clips that were longer than like 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Like, just get the essence of what's going on. If you got the essence of what's going on, then you could tell a story. Another thing about editing is don't feel like you need to keep stuff in there just because you recorded it. We don't know what you recorded. You know what I mean? Like, you could cut out a ton of stuff. That's you wanting to keep all that footage in. We don't need all that footage. Keep it moving. And then if you think about this idea of like clips changing every 7 seconds, then why do you need a minute and a half long clip? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, set up the camera, record you pulling the carrot out of the ground, record you plugging the thing in, and then stop the recording. You know what I mean? Don't make it easier on yourself. I feel like I'm like a surgeon now, but I got like 3 years of experience, 4 or 5 if I'm being honest about it. I may have spelled it wrong. Okay, it's like a phrase that is used to let the students know that they're using words like, oh, okay, I got you. Do they sell a GoPro with a record pause function? Why do you need it to pause? You don't need it to pause. Another little hack is if you have a GoPro or an action camera or something like that. Okay, 2 hacks. The Osmo Action, which is what I use to record my videos. I need to get a nicer camera. I'm actually recording this on a Canon T3i that was given to me by my unofficial little bro. But those action cameras have the ability to be told to start recording and stop recording. That's a good hack. And then for cell phones, there are these little Bluetooth switches. I got one around here in the bin that I got from my son. There are these Bluetooth switches that you can press to start recording and press to stop recording. So then that'll help you because you don't have to be near the phone. You got a little more freedom to move and shake. So good hacks there. Yeah, I don't think you need a pause button. You just need it to stop. You know? I appreciate you saying we can use our phones. I was afraid I would have to buy a camera. What kind of phone do you have? Oh, another thing is I use this microphone. It's a lav mic, and it cost me $20. It's called the Boya M1. It is a recommendation from Think Media. Think Media is a channel that kind of focuses on gear for YouTubing. It is a budget-friendly mic. I think it sounds fine. The live kind of does something to it, but all my videos where I'm sitting down in my window are recorded with this microphone, and it's $10. This is an iPhone 8. I recorded my B-roll for the Big Blue video with this. I put lighting is important too. I didn't talk about that. I put the Big Blue in front of my window. I put my back to the window so that I'm not recording against light. You want light to be facing the subject. So I put my back against the window, pulled out my iPhone 8, and I recorded that B-roll. When you see me put it up on the screen, when you see me show the bottom of that device with the writing on the wall, that's recorded with this iPhone 8. Our vlogs, some of our vlogs are recorded on this phone. Some of our vlogs are even recorded on the LG G6, which has a really questionable camera. iPhone is really good with video. Marquez Brownlee, officially known as MKBHD. I always get it messed up. He's a tech YouTuber, the most popular tech YouTuber, I feel like, period. He has like 10 million subscribers. He talked about how iPhone records the best video. And this guy I also follow because it was hard for me to believe for a while, but iPhones record really good video. I believe LED uses like a newer iPhone to record his content on. Really good video. Try to use the back camera if you can, because that's your best camera. But that iPhone 12 and 13, if you have those devices, you don't even need to buy a camera. Even the front-facing camera on those things are great for recording video. So you should be good money. I have an attachable mic. With expectancy, what would your content be about? Or do you already? Jesus, almost 2 hours. This time flew by. Sheesh. I got an LG. That's like saying I got a Chevy. Like, what does that mean? 2%. I'm giving you a hard time. Like MJ, without putting your business all out in the street, the journey that you're trying to go on, that could be content. The finding, the looking, the driving to, you know what I mean? Like surveying and all that jazz. The that's content, you know what I mean? It's like, and then it's like how I started or how I set out to endeavor on the life that I wanted to have, how I wanted to do the things that I wanted to do, what I'm doing to get there. You know what I mean? That somebody could follow your path to getting there and watch and keep watching. It's okay. I'm just giving you a hard time. What's up, the Donald? What's happening, man? All right, all right. That's all the notes that I had. Um, as you can see, I could talk about the stuff for hours. Uh, I think that's it. Oh. Another thing that I've learned from Think Media, or there's another channel called Think Media Podcast, where they kind of like get a little more granular, is they talk about answering specific questions, or just simply make a video about one thing. Um, we had a video where we went to find out the sex of our baby. The video is about that. It's not about like, what we're gonna cook for dinner, or and you could deviate. I feel like with vlogs, you could do like a 80% on point and a 20% like kind of pulling your life into it. Um, but make a video about one thing, you know what I mean? And then like stick to that. That helps guide your content, you know what I mean? Where you can be focused, have a video be about something, get it, edit it, put it up, done. Okay, LG Aris to 3 Plus. That would be considered a budget phone. If you ever wanted to kind of step it up a little bit, you could get into like used phones. Even you could even get into, for all of you guys, you could even get into phones that are what do they call them? Blacklisted. Like people will not pay the bill on their phones, and then they can't use it with cell phone service. But that phone still has a camera. You can still use it on internet. You know what I mean? You can still put YouTube on it. You can still put an account on it. Uh, I was talking with Kimber Jack, and she bought, I think, a Pixel 3 for like $100. And I have that. I'm not big on like the newest and latest and greatest. I got an iPhone 7, an iPhone 8. Someone gave me, a good friend of the family gave me an LG V40. I have a Pixel 3. They're on like 5 or 6 now. I have a lot of phones. Just want to make that clear. I'm into phones. I have a OnePlus Nord, which is a budget phone. I get great deals on these phones. So when people are out here spending like $1,000 on the phone, I'd rather spend like 300 on two. You know what I mean? Or like 400 on two. And I've gone a long time without buying phones and stuff like that because money has been tight for a very long time. But it's just starting to loosen up a little bit. Just put the SIM card in it today. It's working great so far. That's perfect. Uh, yeah, everybody's here for Christmas, and I'm worried about which disease I'll catch this time. We here at your spot, man. You got it. Somebody got to do it. Might as well be you. I have some voice memos recorded just to have ideas and get the rough stuff out of the way. I plan to comb through and shorten the themes, then record. Okay. So much to know. Thank you for all the work you do. Never realize the effort that's required. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. There's a lot that goes into it. A lot that goes into it. Jeez, there's a ton. Especially, but if you can focus, you know what I mean? If you can start thinking about, like, you have to do the work before you do the work, then that makes the work easier. You know, I know that I want to keep solar simple. People ask me, somebody asked earlier, like, when do you think you're going to buy a battery and so on and so forth? And it's just like, I don't know, because this is what I'm focused on right now. Maybe, maybe not. Joe Trot. I'm gonna leave that one alone, man. I'm gonna leave that one all the way alone. It's, jeez, freaking, yeah. Yeah, I wish there was like middle of the road information. We're so partisan that we can't find truth because everybody thinks everybody's lying, and in a lot of ways, it's because people be lying. I'm going to rewatch this live. I am truly grateful. Um, you're welcome. I feel like I love helping. I pretty much I get it. I know you're addressing this some ban everything is talking about is party, but you got a bit of a you're on a you're on a side. Joe tried. You're on a side with that comment. um, that's all I got. Uh, I gotta pick the winner for the wackery. I'm gonna pick that probably tonight or tomorrow. I sent the agwe to the person who won that. It was the ETC lifestyle. Funny story. It actually went to her neighbor, and somebody called me. They called my like a number for the solar thing because I put that on the package, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm trying to find this person." And I'm like, I'm just thinking because they text me, and I'm like, "Well, I ain't them." See, that's funny, Joe. That's funny. Hey, I internet love you, but that's funny that you're on that spectrum. But what can you say? They make us choose. I'm gonna keep that comment hidden. No, um, all I can think about is Trump and his way. It was like it's from. I'm not gonna say it, but it was funny. Um, anyway, back to the story. The people delivered it to the wrong address. The address was off by one number, and they were like, I'm trying to find who this package belongs to. And I was like, I appreciate your honesty, man. Thank you for calling. Let me check the address. And he was like, yeah, it's Christmas. And you know what I mean? So in my comedic brain was like, if it was a different day, he probably would have housed that and took it. But he seemed like a good cat. I actually thought about trying to like send him a dub or something like that. But I thought that was funny that they delivered it to the wrong house, literally off one number. So that person, I hope they got their stuff. I have to check my email. Hopefully they email me back to let me know that they got it. And then I'll pick the winner for the wackery. And I don't have in mind what I'm going to give away next. But for real, man, y'all start paying attention to if y'all, I mean, man, it's work, but if you have the personality for it and you have the willingness to kind of like focus and take the time to do it, it's like, man, you can start finding some success here on YouTube. And it's work, but it's not necessarily hard work. It's just, you gotta learn, you gotta keep learning and how to get better and so on and so forth. But the barrier of entry is very low. Um, External microphone, cell phone, and just get in front of some light and rock out. Sit in front of a window. My videos are done in front of a window. That's where I get my light from. Um, I found that if I wake up in the mornings, which I'm usually up, but if I come downstairs in the morning, then now I can start kind of recording some videos in the morning. Because typically what I would do during the summer, the family would be out and about more often. So I would record videos when they were kind of like out for a walk or they went for a ride or so on and so forth. But now it's a little harder. So I found that I could record in the morning. I recorded today's video this morning. And they're eating. What is YouTube success? I'll tell you this. I started this YouTube channel because I was into solar and I wanted to try and start getting products for free to talk about them. But even if I didn't get them for free, I was going to talk about the products anyway. And I'm starting to get products and I'm making a few dollars from making videos. I feel like for me, my channel is successful. And I've been at it for about a good 6 to 8 months. It's definitely been less than a year. I started the channel and I made like about 4 videos, my earliest videos. And then I like took a break. I was probably having like marital issues or something like that. I'm not sure. And then I like started to make it again. So I've been doing this for about a year. and I'm at 5,000 subs. Big shout out to Ledformer73 because I think he gave me a push when he shared my video. I had no doubt that people were going to find the channel and love the content because I did the work. But I appreciate that push, him sharing that video, because it gave me a lot of y'all beautiful people are here because Ledformer73 spoke on my channel. So I appreciate him for that. I actually commented on his new channel because I believe I'm blocked on his old channel. And I don't know if it's on purpose or if it's by mistake. Because he talks about how when he's moving and shaking and trying to block people on that phone, and I get it, it happens. But yeah, I'm blocked. I think I was in there. I was in a live, and Love Notes was there, and I knew she recognized my name, so I tagged her like right after she commented, and she didn't respond back. And I've been commenting like every now and then, and nobody like says hi or anything like that. So I think I'm blocked. Yeah, most of you guys are Lead Farmer 73 viewers. For sure. Josh, say he blocked me also. I sent him an email, but I remain blocked. Yeah, you be talking about some wild stuff, and he's like not really into the wild stuff. Not wild, Joe Trot. Like he got a big comment up here that blocked, YouTube blocked, and I was like, I'm gonna leave that hidden.
Oh, Joe.
Joe. Oh, Joe.
Cool.
Joe.
That's, but I will say, me and Ivan do have.
Don't even go there. I already talked about it. It's funny. It's hilarious. We're not gonna go there. Byron says I will block one time. Yeah, such is life. Wait, at 2%, my Bluetti can't even charge this joint on top. Oh, okay. Y'all talking about something or another. I don't know what y'all talking about. We have no cell phone service here in the uncivilized part of Louisiana. My lawyer was shocked. You have no cell phone service?
I know, right? I'm shocked.
No cell. That's
like
that's
Louisiana.
Wow. No cell phone service.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Y'all have like no towers?
I'm about to say not just one tower.
I have a
flip
flip
phone.
phone.
Flip phone. No, you shouldn't be embarrassed.
You should be a little embarrassed. Just a little bit. What did YouTube block? I saw it. Oh, your comment about China. Yeah. You shouldn't be embarrassed. You shouldn't be embarrassed. I would love to find, they're called dumb phones now. I've been on the hunt to find a dumb phone that I actually like. If my Motorola Razr battery was worth anything, I would use it every now and then. But it also has the big SIM card slot, and all of my SIM cards are nanos. So I kind of don't like that. But every now and then, I just kind of want to walk out the house with just a phone. That's it. I just want a phone. But I get one bar outside. You need to look into those WeBoost ban everything. You should make that investment and see if you could get something that those RVers use to boost their signal. Lauren, your luck or blessing, depending on how you feel about it. You should buy one, and then something will be wrong with it, and they'll let you have it and probably send you two. It's just like, yeah, look, seriously, man, look into that. They're not cheap, but I mean, you got some coins laying around there finding all them deals. You could probably even find one used because people are always like updating it. People are into RVing and then they realize they don't like it. And I'm sure they spend money on stuff that they shouldn't have spent money on and so on and so forth. So look into that. Cell phone signal boosters. You may have to put it up on a pole or something like that, but that would be worth it. I also have a cheap phone, but it has a decent camera. True. All right. Any closing words, baby?
No, not at the moment.
What you doing?
I'm making a contract.
Making contracts. My Pixel 5 can call over Wi-Fi. Hey, see, you balling, man. Joe Tyson, you fresh out here in these streets. My Pixel 3 actually died on me. I'm going to have to endeavor to try and open it because I have like vlog footage on there and stuff like that, memories that I have nowhere else. So guys, back up your phones, get a hard drive or something. This live was great. Good night, MJ. 3G is being taken away from me. Oh yeah, it's going away. Dang. Here we're on the top of the hill. My trailer will be 40 feet lower, so it's hopeless. Still try it, man. I'm just cooling now. I feel like, if y'all have questions or anything, curious about anything, I'm just milking the time. My wife is over here working, so she won't be judging me. And the kiddos have their screen time. All right, see you later, all in the soul. If anybody has a specific channel idea or a name or something and they want to rap about it, then let's rap about it. Comment after this video. If you're in here now and you wanted to rap about it, I'm down for it. Comment after the video and then we could talk about it. I love that stuff, coming up with channel names and figuring that stuff out. Y'all don't know how many names we went through before we came up with the Riches Revealed. I think even Ask God Solo was a bit of a journey to figure out. I've been waiting on Elon Musk to give us some technology here. Would you get that internet band, everything that he has? The Starlink? Same to you, R. It's not cheap. I think it's like $100 some odd, but it's better than other satellite stuff, which doesn't give you the speeds. Stacks, what's up, my man? Oh man, always coming through with the coins. Appreciate you, brother. We doing good, man. We're doing well. I probably need a channel name. Need to think first what I want to record. Yeah, you don't seem like you're committed to recording, Joe. I don't think you're committed. And that's fine. That's fine. That is fine. Actually, I came across this Honeywell portable fan and somebody was selling it super cheap. They're already cheap to begin with, but they're selling it really cheap. So I want to grab that. I'm not going to head out tonight, I don't think. What up, Eddie T? I want to grab that. I love getting deals on stuff like that. So I'm going to try and grab that. I'm thinking about it, waiting to the last minute so it will be up to date. What, Starlink or the Boost? I haven't been, no, I need to do some more though. My Faraday cage video is fairly decent. Interesting. I watched a video on Faraday bags. Is it true that a microwave is a Faraday cage? I find that stuff really interesting. And somebody was telling me that microwaves are, but I feel like it could be another situation where they tell you that and then you be believing it and it's not true. I did watch the Snowden movie and they put their phones in something. I think they put them in a microwave. See, yes it is. Not really. It only blocks a narrow band. Interesting. I want to get some Faraday bags, but I'm not that committed to it. I just think that is cool. I actually have a phone around here that's a D-Google phone. I have slow internet service is $100 per month for high speed, 600 megabytes upload speed. Yeah, man, I would totally share internet with somebody if we were like-minded. You know what I mean? Like, I split that cost within a second. We've actually done it before with a neighbor of ours. They were kind enough to share their internet with us. I'd go half on it with somebody. And worst case, you have to take it over by yourself at a time. Or you could be endeavoring, you could be entrepreneurial and sell access to your internet. Like, that's a whole thing. You could give people temporary access, like, yo, y'all want to come and get down? Give me like $2 or something like that. And you could figure out how to limit it and all that jazz. All right, y'all. Y'all be beautiful. There are no more YouTube questions. We're going to kill it right here. Peace. I'll be around in the chat for a little bit.